It's a spooky edition of a full flight here on the Chilled Simming channel. Hello everybody, we are back in the iFly 737 MAX. I have missed it, not had the chance to do any videos on it. I say this is spooky because we've got a big thunderstorm where we are. I guess this could be my Halloween special if you want to call it that. We are in Kingston, Jamaica, and we're in this lovely Caribbean Airways livery. And we're going to be taking this 737 MAX over to St Maarten because everybody loves a flight into St Maarten. And I'll be honest, when I was prepping this, I didn't know it was thunderstorms here, but almost in a cool way, it's a pleasant surprise because, you know, it's always fun. Let's just see if SimFX is working, because you know, if you watch the videos, this effect of the rain falling off the back of the wing is one of my favourites. But yeah, I did not know it was thunderstorms. Love it. This should make for an interesting departure. So, with that being said, thank you Thunder, let's get into the flight deck and get this show on the road. Let's just double check. Are the wing views working? They appear to be. Yeah, I don't blame somebody for wanting to hide from this. Okay, so as with the iFly, it starts absolutely not a single thing on. So if we go to the overhead panel, basically as you can see, I'm clicking stuff and none of the buttons are working, which is making me think there is a problem with, yeah, so if you see they're both sitting on ground. Welcome back! That was an absolute bloody nightmare, to say the least. The real miracle here is that my views are actually still set up the same because I've just had to reinstall the entire aircraft. That was an absolute bloody nightmare. I tried doing some Googling and things like that to try and find the issue. It appears the issue will probably have something to do with the plugin manager thing that you have to have running when flight sims using this plane. But yeah, that was an absolute bloody nightmare. I couldn't find a fix for it, or like anybody having the issue or with a fix, so I uninstalled the aircraft and reinstalled it. So yeah, that's where we are. We're back. It's working this time because the switches work, which is the main thing. So with that, without wasting any more of your time, because I've certainly wasted about half an hour trying to get this sorted, because, you know, the things we do for flight sim. So yeah, let's get this show on the road, shall we? So, battery on. Again, arm the emergency lights. Let's get some ground power, shall we? So if we power up the EFB, so we go to system page, sim menu, ground support, connect the GPU. Let's get that on. There we go. So now, if I go outside, it's alive. The lights are on. Fantastic. Luckily, it's still thundering. Or I mean, in real life, you probably wouldn't be saying that, but yeah, luckily it is still thunder and lightning. If anything, it's actually a bit worse. So I am certainly looking forward to taking this for a spin. Anyway, let's go with, let's align the IRSs to nav. We can fire the yaw damper on. No, we can't because the IRSs aren't aligned yet. Put the window heats on. Can leave the what's it called? The probe heats off for now. Cruising at 370 today. The other thing I want to do, just while I remember, is go to the settings, go to panel style, other or miscellaneous, I think it is. Have all the cabin sun visors open so that they don't get in the way. And I think, yeah, I think that'll be us for now. I'll just go to performance and payload. In fact, yeah, let's do performance and payload. Let's get the weight and balance set up. So in terms of payload, performance, etc., we are taking how many passengers? 161 passengers. 161. Cargo, right, so we're looking for a zero fuel weight of 62.45. So that's close enough. Let's just do 1650. 62.4. That's nearly spot on. That's fine. Fuel, we are taking a total of 8105. 8105. There we go. So we'll set the payload, we'll set the fuel, and yes, that is another job done. So we can go to the performance page, but we'll come back to that. So down to the FMC, and go to ident, and then pause in it. We're at Mike Kilo Juliet Papa Kingston. We'll grab the GPS left coordinates. That's fine. Route, we can do, if I can remember, now because I've reinstalled the aircraft, I don't know if what's been reset, what's not been. So let's try it. The fact that it's saved my, oh well, it's trying to log me into Navigraph from other screen, so this might be working. Come on. Yes, it just, amazing. The good thing is I haven't had to really reinstall anything. Everything's just kind of been as it were. So in terms of the flight number, it is actually just going to set up while I'm over on my other screen. Volanta, just so I don't need to touch it again. There we go. Yeah, so we are Caribbean 457, so that is Bravo Whiskey Alpha 457. We are departing out of runway 30 here. And we can activate that, execute that. Performance, 0 fuel weight, reserves of 2. That cruise altitude is correct. We can do the performance. Why not? In fact, no, we'll do the departure first. So out of runway 30 on the Ineka 7. And execute that. I don't believe. That's an interesting departure. 30, Ineka 7. I'm just going to bring up my charts a minute. Ineka 7. Right, so okay, fair enough. So you basically you depart straight out and then straight into the turn. Yeah, okay, that's that's basically how it works. What we're going to do then is execute that. But what we can do is if I clear, sorry, delete, I was just flying the Airbus, that's why I'm a bit, and then we can move this up to here. Okay, I am not happy with this, hang on. That is not how it looks in the, that's not how it looks on the chart. Basically we depart, take a heading of 267 and then a heading of 110. So maybe vector is, we'll see. I've always got good previous for that. In terms of the arrival into St Maarten, obviously only landing on 10. The Luba 1, we are coming in from Gouda, and it'll be the VORZ or Zulu. We can execute that. In terms of just having a little look at that, it's probably going to look like a bit of a mess on the screen, which is fine. It's the nature of the... So what we'll do is we'll take Gouda all the way up to there, and then Luba to there. Yeah, there we go. So that's I think that's roughly okay. Yeah, it is a visual approach at the end of the day. So we'll set more of that up when we're closer, or while I'm in the cruise. So finally back down for InitRef. We never did do the performance, so go over to the EFB. So we are at Mike Kilo Juliet Papa search runway 30. It's wet. Wind is not that bad. It's 0 at 0 or 0 at 1. So I'm just going to put 0/0. The temperature 29 degrees Celsius. I am jealous. The QNH is 1013. I believe it's hectopascals they use in this part of the world. We've seen that. I'll just move that over to HPA, which is obviously 1013 standard anyway. So flap config will be 5. The air conditioning will be on. The anti-ice will be off. We go with takeoff. Oh, okay. Well, I need to turn the flaps, the air conditioning off. Oh. Just checking that our takeoff weight matches what I've got in SimBrief. Estimated takeoff weight 70 yes, it's only 200 out. Am I going to need flap 10 maybe? Surely not. Surely not. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let me just do 0 degrees at 1 knot, or 1 meters per second at. So we're just going to ignore it then. We'll go flaps 15 for we'll flex to 30. We'll go flaps 15 for departure, since it's so concerned about us getting off the ground. We'll set the CG. So we are at 4.83, which it's obviously set. We'll just have to take these speeds as they are, because I don't have any way of... That's really, really weird. Bet it's the temperature. No, it's not temperature. Who knows? Who knows? We're winging it. We're in the sim. Who cares? We can put this back over to map. We can set V2. Okay, so I was just messing around with the controls there, because I've got this new setup with the Thrustmaster yoke, so I was just seeing if I could put the speeds in the MCP in using it, which I have figured out that I can. So V2145, so I can set that like that. Heading 300 is fine. Altitude initially we can go to, let's say 18,000. Yeah, let's go with that. That's so good having that, because the mouse is terrible. So left flight director on, or right flight director on, ARM LNAV and VNAV. Is it going to let me? It is, okay. Up to the overhead panel, yaw damper on. I'm going to get all the fuel pumps on. Do we have any in the centre? We do a little bit, so we'll get them on as well. Get the APU started. Seatbelt signs on. Probe heat's on. And I will get GSX to prepare for pushback and departure. That's the hope anyway. Is it working? Are you working, GSX? Unfortunately, because there's been so much messing about, the storm has passed. Although this is going to be some cracking views on departure by the looks of it. I'm actually just going to write down the time for active sky to try and make sure the weather matches later. So it is Takeoff. Okay, so I've just tried to get the weather to match when I go back and do the replays. Whether that's worked or not, I don't know, but we'll see. So the APU is available. Oh, I keep forgetting that you need to use the scroll wheel for a lot. Right. Is it going to actually prepare us for pushback? There we go, it is now. Cool. Parking brake is already on, so we can go to the system page. Go to ground support. Get rid of the chocks, get rid of the GPU, and set. And that should mean they're all gone, which it is. Cool. Overhead panel is fine as it is. We'll just fire the anti-collision light on just now.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Look at the sky. It's incredible. The weather's not crap enough often enough. There we go. Somehow I doubt they would use this kind of tug in real life, but it is what it is. Yeah, so I've got my new Thrustmaster yoke system, so we'll see how we get on with this. Just put the auto brake to RTO, well I remember there. So we are flaps 15, I'll need to remember that. I don't know if it's required, it's yeah, that's an interesting one. We're going left.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Now, it's been a little while since I've had the joy of listening to this, so you bet I am going to shut up, put these starter switches to ground, and enjoy the sound.
Unlocking gear.
Lovely. Let's do the same for number 2, except we'll listen to number 2 from the wing view once it's finished motoring and we get the fuel in.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Excellent stuff. So, back up the front, we can put the engine generators on, the APU can go off, the hydraulic pumps can come on, packs can come on for now, but they will be turned off if I do remember when we are departing. Engine start switches to continuous. We can fire the taxi light on. And we can go to the wing view for the flaps. Now, 1, 2, 5, 10, 15 on the flaps. Do a flight control check. That looks all 3 incorrect. Okay, with that, I believe we are ready to go. Brakes off. And here we go. Whoa, very sensitive on the rudder, or the tiller even. Very sensitive, wow. It's like the opposite of the PMDG. So takeoff config check there is absolutely fine. There was no warning. So we do have to do a bit of a backtrack, I believe. Because if the EFB thinks we're going to struggle to take off, then I certainly would like to use every inch of the runway that we possibly can. SkyDolly, nearly forgot, but I didn't. SkyDolly is recording. I mean, the weather's just about gone. It just looks like a nice average day down in the Caribbean. So we are going on to the runway so we can put all of the lights on. There we go. Again, just using the Stream Deck for that. Now again, as I've mentioned in a previous video, please bear with me as I get used to using rudders again, especially when they're so sensitive in this aircraft for some reason. Absolute noob tries to taxi aircraft. Yeah, so we're going to try and use as much as possible of the runway. Just have a bit of the fear now that it's told me that it doesn't think we're going to be able to take off. Well, it looks very ominous what we're taking off into. Come on, round you come. Right, we are just going to go for it. Auto throttle on, or armed even. There's 40%. And take off. Couldn't find the button. Here we go. There's 80. Loads of room. Rotate. Come on, up you go. That's positive rate. Gears coming up. Following the flight director for now. There's climb thrust. Bring the nose down. Flaps 5. Now this looks like this could be a bit of a difficult turn to even fly manually. Fuel, that's fine. That'll just be the centre tanks. Flaps 1. Flaps up. Ring back on the yoke. Command A. Standard pressure set. Fuel pumps off. Altitude intervene. Oh. We'll go all the way up to 370. There we go. Can put the ignition to off. I'm just going to give us a direct just to help the plane out a little bit. I know SkyDolly's recording, but I'm desperate to see out the window myself. Look at that. Incredible. So I guess we can do after takeoff and 10,000. So passing through 10,000, lights can go off, turn offs off, taxi light off, strobe can stay on. We're going to leave the passengers sitting down at the moment because it looks like we're about to fly through something that we probably shouldn't fly through. Now, the weather radar doesn't work, I'm sure. That looks like a negative, so that's fine. Trying to pick up. Oh yes, that's the view right there. Now the only disappointing thing is going to be the lack of or not lack, but the minimalistic wing flex while you're in the air in the aircraft. It's like the wing flex is so good on the ground, but in the air it like barely moves. I mean, we're literally flying through a storm cell right now. Yeah, this looks a bit intense. Probably shouldn't be flying right through the middle of it, but given that I don't have a weather radar, it's kind of just making up as we go along. Although I will say, if you look at the vertical speed, you'll see the updraft that we've just hit, that we have jumped massively up. That is the thing about Active Sky, it renders like the wind conditions and turbulence conditions within thunderstorms like very, very well. See, we've come out of that cell, we're back to about 2,000 feet per minute. But if you've seen, we went nearly as high as 5,000 there at one point. Because we're in obviously a cell that is going to have crazy weather. There was probably no great way of avoiding coming through that in any way, to be honest. Just when you look back at what's behind us. But yeah, that was fairly interesting, certainly different. Anyway, we are on the way over to St Maarten. I don't actually know how long this is going to take. 2014 Zulu, and it is 1822, so we've got at least, well, just short of a couple of hours before top of descent. So I shall leave you now, folks, and enjoy the cruise shots, and we'll see you when we're on the approach down into St Maarten for a nice fun landing. See you then. Hello everybody and welcome back to the flight deck. We're on the approach down into St Maarten. Just going through 11,300 feet at the moment. And yeah, as you can see from our routing, we are pretty much straight in anyway. There is no major difficulties that we've had. This has been a smooth flight. I've been sitting doing some editing while this has been on the screen next to me, and it's been absolutely fine, which is always good. So in terms of the approach then, a little bit different at St Maarten to your usual ILS, but it's actually not bad really at all. Basically what we've got is, there's no ILS, it's just the localizer. Oh, sorry, not localizer. The VOR. So I've got the charts up beside me. We don't really need to follow the charts if I'm completely honest with you, because they are very much self-explanatory, as in there's nothing crazy here. Basically what we're going to do is we're following the waypoints in. Once we get to waypoint Ulaba, if that's how it's pronounced, you track 096 off of Ulaba, which is the runway heading, and then it is basically a visual approach down from there. So as you can see, we're already coming in at 091, so because of our routing we're pretty much bang on, so we don't really need to mess about too much. So we should reach Ulaba at the 10-mile mark, which is, I've put a fix ring around the VOR, which is Papa Juliet Mike. So yeah, once we get there we should be fine. If we need to do a missed approach, we'll be going to a heading of 180 and climbing to 4,000 and turning right as soon as feasible. The same on the departure. But yeah, other than that, it's a standard approach. There's nothing crazy to this. It's yeah, it's just a standard approach. The only crazy thing about it is just the sea. There is very, very little in the way of anything else. And I think we've got one lonesome cloud here, all on its own. So just going through 7.5 now. Auto brake we can put to 2. I'll just put the engine start switches over to continuous at the moment, just so I don't forget, because what I did notice is I forgot to turn the packs off for departure. Not that it mattered. I don't know why the EFB was having such a hissy fit, because we got off the ground no problem at all, unless I'd missed something. Probably should have turned them on. Oh well. If your in-flight entertainment wasn't working, folks, it should be now. And now is not the time to be going and messing about in here, but I literally cannot help myself. Oh. There we go. So we want both zones, right, off both zones. Look at that. Oh yes. Anyway, we can come off standard pressure, not that it matters because it is 1013 anyway, which I think was that the same. I've forgotten already if that's what it was in at Kingston. In terms of the wind, it is 070 at 5 knots, so pretty much a non-event to worry about there. What I tend to find when it's approaches like this, where we are literally so far out, and like we're so far out but in a straight line, that we basically, like, you almost want to end up getting set up too early, because you're like, I can see the runway, I need to go now, but I know from generally the decel point is here, coming up in about 2.5 miles. That's generally when I would go flaps 1 in a normal approach, is when we hit the decel point, because that's the point at which the VNav will automatically bug down your speed. So I usually hit flaps 1 at that point to help it slow down. A bit of drag that's different from the speed brakes. So when you're in a straight approach, because you can see we're already on 096, because we are dead straight all the way down from here. So once we hit decel, I will give it flaps 1 just to give it a wee hand. So there you go, you can see it's brought the nose up because we've hit decel point, and it's going to bring the throttles, well, they were already all the way back anyway, and it goes down to the bug up speed. So with that, flaps 1. Now, I've just realised as well, the flaps will be quieter than what they were in my other videos, because I haven't got the new sounds that Boris, that does the sounds for iFly, had put on the iFly Discord. I don't have that because, well, I've had to reinstall the aircraft, so that's why the flaps sound so quiet. So our flaps 1, 3,500. I'm just going to leave it at flaps 1. Again, I probably didn't need flaps that early. I mean, we're in a literally going in a straight line. It's hard to say you need them. I mean, we're just coming up to 11 DME at the moment. So once we hit the 10 mile ring, we'll go flaps 5. We're obviously not going to need the speed brake, so I'm just going to arm that. The lights are already on, ding the cabins, nearly landing time. Overhead panel looks good. Auto brakes are set, speed brakes armed. Yeah, it is literally just... there's 10, so we go flaps 5. SkyDolly, that was close, nearly forgot, that would have been a disaster. Because of course we need the SkyDolly shots of it coming in here. So flaps 5 are set. Don't need to configure any further than this at the moment. Wait to maybe 6 DME before we start getting gear down and things like that.
2,500.
That's checked. Wee bit blustery, but it's okay. That's 1600's checked. So I'm just going to set the heading to the missed approach heading, which is 180. There we go. And it would be up to 4,000 in the event that we need to go around, which hopefully we don't. So there is 6 DME, let's go. Gear down, flaps 15. Gears down, 3 green lights, and let's go flaps 30. So our VREF is going to be 148. Now you'll see, because it's not an ILS approach, how we're way off to the right here, but that's fine. My aircraft, and I will take it from here. Here we go. First things first, get this thing trimmed. Come on, a wee bit more than that. So that's the thing, I've probably left the autopilot in maybe a little bit too long there, because we've ended up quite far over to the right, but it's nothing that can't be corrected. There we go. Pretty much corrected already, that's checked. We're a little bit low. Just going to bring in some throttle to help with that. There we go. That's better. A little bit high now. Correcting.
Approaching minimums.
Still a little high. Come down.
Minimums.
That's check landing. A little bit too much of a sink there, that's okay. Keep her coming. Keep her coming. Absolutely fine so far.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And we're down. Reverse thrust. I accidentally knocked the auto brake out, but it's okay. We can just manually brake. I think my reverse thrust was having a little bit of a hissy fit there. And reverse idled. Welcome to St Maarten. That was a good approach, I enjoyed that. This Thrustmaster yoke is 10 times better than what I've had before it. I will say that much. So we'll spin it around. Bring the speed braking up. Flaps are coming up. And welcome to St Maarten. Yeah, that was a good approach. I enjoyed that. I should come here more often, but it's like everything, you want to kind of... Whoa, what is going on here? It's like everything, you kind of want to enjoy different airports and things, but should probably still come here more often. Auto brake can go off, the starter switches can go off, we can start the APU up. Leave the strobes on for now, we're still on the runway after all. Now I just want to check, I can never ever remember what exit I'm meant to take. Let's go with Delta here. So landing lights off. I'll just turn all the lights off actually. Come on, plane. I find taxiing in the iFly bit weird. But weird in a totally different way to the way that it's weird in the PMDG. I should have just came off at that taxiway, clearly. That would have been the better thing to do, but oh well. Here's our gate here. Our marshaller is there. Come on, plane. Let's swing it round. We've got two marshallers. That's what you like to see. Just going to try and get the nose lined up a bit better with the yellow line. A little bit more. There we go. That'll do it. Parking brake is on. We can go over to the APU generators and kill the fuel. Fuel pumps can all come off. Hydraulics can come off. APU bleed on. Anti-collision off. Welcome to St Maarten. Hopefully GSX starts deboarding us. Yep. Slow that camera down a little bit. Yeah, welcome to St Maarten. That was a bit of an interesting flight. Again, slightly all over the place once again. Been quite good at that recently. But yeah, we're here nonetheless. An interesting flight, that's for sure. I hope that the SkyDolly recording has worked and there was some lovely views as we came over the beach. If not, I am just as disappointed as you are. But yeah, another lovely flight. I don't know when this video's coming out, to be honest. I've got a few already scheduled, and I know the A380 comes out on the 31st. For context, this is being recorded on October 27th. So when this video appears, I don't know if it will be after or before the A380. It just depends on what the numbers are looking, or not the numbers, what the schedule is looking like. But yeah, I will stop rambling, as I do in every video at every point, and leave you folks. If you have got any suggestions about where you'd like us to go, you know what to do. Just let me know and I'll see if I can accommodate it. No promises though. But yeah, in the meantime though folks, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheerio!